Welcome to Lace Up Podcast. On this podcast, I interview shoe customizers, designers, and artists. On this podcast, you're going to get to know a little bit about the designer behind your favorite customs, the customizer, their customizing style, their business model, how they make it work. People say there's no money in art. Art is a hard business. Every business is a hard business. But what I would say to you is to follow your passion and follow the thing that you love and listen to these interviews and these people and how they're chasing their dreams and putting creative work into the world and sharing their gifts and talents with all of us. Stick and stay with your boy. Let's get into it.
Listen, you want custom shoes? That's gonna take some bucks. Whatever you have for the price, go ahead and raise them up. Better get your spot now for it's taken up. When it's all said and done, my guy, lace them up. Come on, lace them up.
All right, welcome to another edition of the Lace 'em Up podcast. My name is David Hartman. I am your host, and today's guest is going to be Yumi. Yumi, say hello to the people.
Aloha.
So, first of all, let's start here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
My name is Yumi from Yumisartbox. I wouldn't call myself an artist, but I customize things. I am 25 years old. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a mom of a fur baby, a daughter, an 8-year-old daughter, and a wife to my crazy childlike husband.
Awesome. So let's just kind of jump in. So part of what we're talking about is like custom shoes and that kind of thing. So what got you into custom shoes?
Okay, so initially when I started Instagram, it was like, everybody starts off and then they post their family stuff and then they're like, oh, okay, and then I belonged to, excuse me, a Disney page. It was like a fan page of a bunch of, Disney fans. And then a few people on there, they would go live and then they would create art live. And my husband, he works for a black lighting company and he brought home some paints and he's like, why don't you try them out? I'm like, okay. And I was painting on canvas and then I was painting live on this Disney fan page also. And they took well to it. And then putting it up on Etsy or like trying to sell it, that was a whole new different story. Wasn't as successful. What am I doing wrong? Just the initial questions that people get of when they start Instagram, when they want to turn a hobby into a profession. And so a fellow Disney fan from that page, she was customizing shoes and she's like, hey, why don't you try shoes? Because who wants to buy artwork? Who wants to buy paintings? It's just hung on the wall. What good is that? So people want to wear art. People want to show it off. I'm like, okay. And then she goes, you know what I use? I tag it all the time. I said, okay. Bought myself a basic set. My guinea pig was my daughter. And this was, I started everything, such as the painting, maybe about 5 years ago. So when my daughter was turning 3. And somewhere along the line in there, maybe the following year, I did my first pair of shoes for my daughter. And that's how it all got started. And initially, it was really slow. Of course, you're starting up an Instagram page. Nobody knows you. You struggle to get your name out there, to be seen. You pay for ads and, you do all this kind of stuff. But, and you tag people, you tag the paint company, all kinds of stuff that goes on in the background of social media. And 1 year, I just got super busy. And then here I am today.
Okay, so you said in about a 5-year time period, and then at one day it was like, boom, we're here, right? So from the start of that time period, how long did it take before the busy time happened? Was it like 2 years? Was it 3 years? What was the time frame before it was like?
It could have been. I really can't answer that unless I go back on my Instagram. Really, it's really sad to say because it's like after a while, you become so engulfed. It's like your life, your business is online, you know, so everything is recorded. It's a whole portfolio of my whole journey, you know, along this customizing journey. So
Right. So the part of it in that I was trying to get to really is being consistent, right? Like
yes.
I feel like so many times people start something and they go, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna do it.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't work in 3 months, it doesn't work in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about over a 5-year time period.
Oh, yes.
Speak to what that journey looked like and felt like for you, because a lot of people would have just given up.
You know, I get kind of getting kind of emotional, but there's still a lot of struggle for me, and I haven't really. I mean, we're not meant to ever hit our goal or achieve our dreams. To me, I think because we have that, we have somewhere to, you know, somewhat of a level to strive for. But every day is a struggle. I can't say that it's been easy. You know, I'm very, very blessed that I get orders and I get business. I have repeat customers, but there are those days where you think you do the best work and you put it on social media and only like 50 people like it. And you know, I did everything right. I tried my best, but that's all you can do, you know? And you just got to keep pushing. And then there are those, you're not supposed, okay. And then, okay, so this is a whole new different thing. You start looking at other pages, you start comparing, you start feeling this small, really. But looking at those that are way out here and so far out of reach, that has been my drive. I want to get there. I want to try and outdo not them, but I want to do what I just completed each time. And then you get better and better and better. And hopefully someone would notice. Maybe not, I don't know. But within yourself, that you've done the best that you could to your ability. So, you know, you're never going to reach that person because you're not that person. You don't create art like that person. Your style is different, whatever. You know, you can try and copy it, but you're not that person. So
right. So
yeah.
I think that's a very interesting space. Like, so stay in your space, your lane is what that makes me think about, right? But with saying that, like, one, what is your space? What is your style? And then how do you develop it or choose what lane that you're gonna be in? So what would you say is your style?
Right now, I think they come in phases. But then again, when I look back to the first pair of shoes that I've done for my daughter, my shading is pretty similar. So I think I focus on that depth, shading, and then right now, I don't know if you're familiar, but I started using water brushes, kind of like a watercolor effect on canvas shoes, which has become just, everything flows. Like it wasn't as a challenge. It wasn't like, God, gosh, I don't know how to say it. Like sometimes you get some projects that you're not into, and you're just like trying to get through that. You know how hard it is, right? But I mean, you are appreciative, but there are some projects that you just can't connect with, I guess. And the style that I have now, I guess it just clicks. It just comes together so easily, like it flows, Yeah. I don't know how to, it's more of a feeling for me. Everything's been more of a feeling, like an emotion. I don't know. But just something that's in here. Things that upset me or things that just make me want to push myself a little harder. Just the drive for it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also creates a space of release, right? Because
Yes.
art is a sense in a space of being therapeutic as well. But earlier you said that you're not an artist. I would definitely challenge that just based off the response you just gave me. But we won't go into that. I'm just saying,
Okay.
just going to throw that out there. So in while you're taking in work, what would you say is your process for designing a shoe or coming up with a concept or whatever? Like I'm learning that everybody's process is really, really different. Like for me, I do everything on the computer first before I get into whatever I'm getting into.
Oh yeah. For example, if they were to give me, I have an upcoming one, which is Alice in Wonderland. I definitely do research online, but you don't want to just take what's out there and put it on a shoe. You want to make it your own as much as you can. And so just in here and in here, sometimes I wait because it has to click. It's that moment where it's like, oh, wow, this is what I want to do. Bam. And then there was a certain artist that her and I were talking. We collabed in the past, but we're like, oh yeah, we should do for Lunar New Year. And then she had a bunch of projects already in line, but I was like, I got a pair of Vans, blank Vans. And then I just went for it, because we're talking about it and we're into it. And I had kind of like a vision in my head. Yeah. And then kind of put that out on canvas. Yeah. So definitely doing a lot of visual research and then mentally just sorting it out. And then sometimes I do mock-up, sometimes I just go for it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's a mixture between the two.
Yeah. And then some of them it's just, I don't, like I said, okay, you might want to cut this short. Okay. Some things I just don't click with. I don't connect. And then, you just paint like it is and then move on. Unfortunately, that's the case because that's what they ask for. They specifically ask for this and that. I mean, they don't give you the
space to be creative. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And do your thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes in return, that kind of is more of a challenge to me too, because it's like, you really got to get this working.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, but I'd rather have that because it's more exciting. That's what makes you better to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Interesting. I'm taking that from like your page and stuff that I see you post that your preferred canvas is Vans.
Yes.
Okay.
Currently, yes.
Okay. Have you gone out of that, or is it just like I'm gonna try to do Vans as much as I can, or is there another shoe that you like work on or like to work on?
I have definitely worked on Nikes before. Call me lazy, but I hate the prep work. Vans, you just stuff the shoe, cover up a few, spots that you want to protect, and then just go for it, sketch it out or whatever. You paint straight on the shoe, no prep work for that. So it's really easy in that sense. But growing up, all I wanted was Nikes. I used to play ball growing up, and then
Okay.
yeah, you want the latest Jason Kids, and that's what I got. I put my birthday and my Christmas, and then I that's what I wanted for my presents, shoes. But yeah, shoes has always been, I don't know, you just meet someone and you just look down at their feet. Yeah, for some reason that just came natural to me, to just check out shoes. I was always, drawn to looking at people's shoes.
So you bring up a great question that I like to ask, right? Like,
yes.
What is that shoe that made you fall in love with shoes? For me, it is the Bread 11s. That was like it for me. I was in middle school when they first came out, and it was like that was a shoe that I had to have. That was
You're gonna laugh.
But,
You're gonna laugh.
Well, go ahead.
Okay. So my sister is about 2 years older than me, and she also played basketball. Neither of us are really good. But she wanted I'm gonna show my age, the Reebok pumps. Okay. And I was so jealous of her, that basketball on the tongue, and I was like, I want to try, yeah, that was it. That was a shoe. But prior to that, there are kids shoes and things like that you're interested in. There's a bunch. Ellis's. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. Ellis's.
Okay.
Or I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. And then there was a girl, was it British Knights or something? Yeah. No, LA Gear. Okay, that's what it was. The sides of the shoes, they were cut up in strips, but they were twisted, and you can see the like silver, or like I said, me and shoes, we go way back. But who would have thought that we would have met again in life, our paths would have crossed. Yeah. But,
wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I never got the Reebok pumps, but I did like them. I admired them from afar. It just wasn't something I was able to get my hands on. So this next question is going to probably be a little difficult. Okay. So give me your top 5 shoes that you've created.
Ooh. That I've worked on?
Yep, that you've made. Your top 5 customs that you've made.
I gotta say, one of my biggest challenges was that latest Superman and Green Goblin pair that I just finished. That was a real challenge. I must have worked on that Goblin for, I don't know. That shoe took me, that pair took me about a week in intervals. But the Green Goblin and all the details, like if you zoom in, the belt, the crisscross in his hat, the stitching, like the the crisscross in the bags too, the detailing on that. As I'm getting older, my vision is not as great either. So I gotta wear my grandma glasses. And that shoe has challenged me. Another one that took a while was the Bowser and Mario pair. It's still available. It's a men's size 9. No. But yeah, that one, the Bowser was pretty challenging to do. And then you say my favorite. Like, I can't really say if things are my favorite. I don't know. I try not to get too married to my shoes anymore because I gotta ship them off and wave them goodbye one day. So oh, but one shoe that I just said I'm gonna do, and I had a lot of fun doing, was a Street Fighter pair for the Chun-Li and Guile pair. And then there's a reason why it's not Ryu because or Ken, it's Guile, because my husband, he used to play Street Fighter tournaments, and he says the best character is hands down Guile. It's not anyone else. So I said, okay, we'll do like a, like a pair, a husband and wife.
There you go.
So I have that one. Gosh, what else? A lot of people took to the Baby Yoda and Mandalorian pair, the one with the helmet shining. But you can cut this part out too. I've done so. It's so terrible. I painted so much Baby Yoda. I'm over it. Like, I get it that people want it, but to paint the same thing over and over again, it's, you want more new things to challenge yourself and, to conquer and paint new things. You want new subjects. So yeah, Mandalorian, the Bowsers, Street Fighter, Spider-Man, and then my daughter's first pair.
Awesome. Okay, so this next one is probably going to be a little difficult too. Maybe not as difficult as the last one.
Okay.
So this one is, if you could paint a shoe for somebody, dead or alive, who would it be, and what would be the shoe?
Whoa, okay, you're gonna have to cut this part out, and then it's gonna be an interval. Gosh. Okay, so one more time, dead or alive.
Yep.
Paint a shoe.
If you could paint a shoe for somebody, dead or alive, who would it be? And then what shoe would you do? Like, what design, what custom would you do?
Ooh. There's one person, I think, in life that I would never know what to paint. And that's my mom. She is my everything, really. We're very close. We still are. But my mom and dad split when I was in 3rd grade. So, she raised both my sister and I, single mom. We didn't have much, and like I said, like obtaining a pair of Reebok pumps, they didn't come easily, and she's probably one of the most hardest people to please. She won't let you know that she's proud, or anything like that. She's always she keeps to herself. She's very humble. She's a hard worker. But yeah, I would love to paint something from her, but I just wouldn't know what. But yeah. Maybe a picture of my daughter on her shoes. But there's a thing in so my background is I'm Japanese American. I'm second generation. So my mom and dad were straight from Japan. And then my dad came here when he was like 18 or so. So his English is all right. But my mom, she struggles right now too, you know. So she speaks to my daughter in Japanese. And then, you know, we're trying to get that in her head and have her learn. So I grew up bilingual. And yeah, but she struggled quite a bit. And then she was really strict bringing us up and everything like that. But yeah, very, very thankful, very appreciative to my mom. And I don't know, there's just nothing that I could, just never enough to thank her.
Right.
Yeah. Right. But yeah. I'm sorry, it's so boring. It's like
no, that's dope. That speaks volume. I mean, like I've mentioned before, a lot of people could definitely relate to that story and being in that space. So, I mean, when I first started off, it was just me and my mom as well. So, I can definitely relate. So I feel you in that vein. So, next question: what's now and what's next for you?
Oh. So I just started working with some new paints I know you are familiar with, right?
I saw.
Alpha 6 Corporation. Gosh, I don't know how much. Have you tried their paints out, by the way?
I haven't had a chance to yet. I've seen everybody reviewing them and everything, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to make a purchase. I haven't tried them yet.
Yeah, that's the best thing, I think. You know, people can say this, they can say give negative reviews or not, but the best thing to me is for people to try it out themselves,
right?
And make their own, have their own opinions on it. Not everybody's the same. Not everybody, paints in the same style either. So some people lay it on thick. And yeah, so Alpha 6, just working with the new Alpha Flex paints. There was discussion. I don't know if I should share because I don't know if it's gonna go through or not. But
I was like, exclusive?
Yeah. There was a guy who reached out to me asking a bunch of artists in the community that are outside. I believe they're from France, and there's going to be an what is it? Exhibition. Or, at a gallery, and then they're sending each person, each artist, one shoe, not a pair of shoes.
An exhibit. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
And then I'm sorry, my brain is.
That's good.
So the last question. So yes, an exhibit in France, and then we're supposed to create one shoe. He didn't say paint. He said, do what you want. So, like, oh, which is painting it just okay? Like, do we have to put wings on it? And does it have to fly? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's for a gallery. So, and he said he's gonna send the shoe, but I haven't heard back from him. So I have to email him again. But we'll see what's going on with that. But I definitely do want to do more collaborations. But I just can't take any more right now, any more work, because I'm backed up, and it gets to that point where daily life it's just in there in my mind. I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and then juggle everyday life. My daughter, and yeah, she's home, mommy. You know how that is. So just trying to do it all, and then we'll see, open up some orders after that, and then before you know it, it'll be Christmas. Christmas is always crazy. It's just Um,
So you brought up something interesting,
yes.
right? Especially for, and this goes for anybody, just doesn't necessarily have to be shoes, but anybody who is working or has something else going on, life, whatever, and they're trying to start a business or they're trying to run their business. And that's that wonderful thing of work-life balance, right? So how do you like accomplish that, or is this a myth? Like, does it not happen?
Um, it is happening to a point, but some days I can't get anything done. I mean, that's reality. You know, I got uh what is it? Back in the end of April, my dog had seizures for the first time. I was on nonstop watch. Like I couldn't leave her side because I had to watch. Now it's just subsided a little bit. So we're still keeping an eye on her, but I can't leave the house. Someone's got to be watching her. Even a shower. You know, this is like having kids, you know, a newborn, that whole thing again. Like having a shower, it's just, that's luxury. You know, going to the bathroom in peace, that's luxury.
Yeah, especially with little kids. Yeah,
exactly. So you know, not everybody has a family, not everybody has, you know, school. Some people are, you know, I can't say fortunate enough because our lives are just different, you know. We all have our thing. So but yeah, definitely sacrifice sleep. And I can't say that I don't sacrifice time with my daughter because I have to. I do. It's a job, you know. And that's the thing where you really, once you get to that point, you really start to, excuse me, you really have to start to separate. I'm at work. I'm at home. Well, I'm with my family.
right.
I'm working right now. Yeah. And then that's one of my biggest um, feelings of guilt is we're home all the time. My daughter sees me all the time. And when she's, you know, she was virtually online for school, virtually going to school online. But after that, like right after she'd get off, Mommy, I want to do this. But it's like, I have to work, you know, for me to say I have to work, it just, it kills me, you know. But it's kind of like, you know, we do this so you have a bed to sleep in. We do this so you have a roof over your head. We do this so we, you know, we have food on the table. And I need you to realize that. And I know she's 8. She's not going to realize that. And for myself to understand that growing up, that was a hard pill for me to swallow too. So, yeah, my upbringing wasn't really easy either. So I understand that pain. And for me to kind of have to spit that back out to her is just, it's really painful. So like I said, the guilt, you know.
Yeah. Everybody has to deal with that at some level, especially when you have kids.
Yes.
Because as you know, life becomes about them, and it's really no longer about you. So so in the vein of wrapping up, we got 2 more questions for you.
Yes.
So I'm calling this the Lace 'em Up podcast because I feel like as a customizer, typically the first thing you take out is the shoestrings, and the last thing you put back in is the shoestrings to lace them up and step back and look at the final product, right? So that's kind of where the title of the podcast came from. But
Awesome.
I got 2 questions for you.
Yes.
1, who do you feel should be on the podcast next? And could you help us get them on?
Okay.
I'll let you answer that one first.
Oh gosh, you should have gave me some time to think about this one. There are a couple ladies that are really inspiring. One of my biggest inspirations currently is Vicky from Salevic. I tell her all the time, I'm like, gosh, her mindset is just so business oriented. She's just constantly hustling, and I just admire that so much. You know, whether it be her artwork, the videos, she's just constantly thriving, and I love that. The drive, the thirst for, you know, who knows what she's really going for, but you can sense it, and I love that about her. So, and plus she's really super sweet. Another person who she was working with is a Studio Duskus, and she creates, there's also Art of a Woman. They create shoes from scratch. This is just, if you haven't already, please check them out. You know, you can DM me and then I can forward you their information, but they're creating sneakers from scratch. That is just, that's a whole new thing that we can't even touch them. But
at some point I would love to get there, but I need to focus on it for a little while. That's awesome. That's awesome.
There's also another guy who, he's young. I don't know if he's hit 20 yet, but his name is Enzo, and he's a student, an art student, and just looking forward to how much better he's gonna get as he gets older. Really exciting to watch. So.
Okay, last question before we wrap it up. Okay. What tip? Give me one good tip that you would give to someone who's starting out, a new customizer.
One tip only.
I mean, one is great. I mean, if you bless us with two, I'm fine with that, or more.
1 second then.
Yes. Well played. Well played. Well played. Okay.
You know what though? Really, just do your own thing at your own pace and in your own style. Make it come from here. Takes a lot of this, but this is what's gonna, your heart is what's gonna keep you going, keep you driving. Yeah. But that's my biggest tip, you know. And then try not to compare yourself to everybody else, you know. You don't want to copy people, because then you get lost in the sea of all this. You know, I scroll through my page and I'm like, I'm bored. There's all these, the same custom shoes. A lot of startup pages are like that. They got 2 shoes up on their thing, and then, I want to customize it. So no, you got to work for it. You really have to work for it. It's not easy, you know.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's been another episode of the Let's Podcast.
Go.
Until next time.
Forward. Listen, it takes wisdom to grab these sneakers and spin them. Cut a couple of linen and match them up with the denim called Davidedo. He'll cook it up like a kilo and have your Air Ones appropriate with the stilo. He's no Lilo, but he's mean with the stitch. Got supreme lean dreams with a season to kick. Phil Heath, how he comes with the gift. And you can call him Skipper, how he got his run of the ship. Listen, you want custom shoes, that's gonna take some bucks. Whatever you have for the price, go ahead and raise them up. Better get your spot now for it's taken up. When it's all said and done, my guy, lace them up. Come on, lace them up. For it's all said and done, my guy, lace them up. Lace them up, for it's all said and done. Let's go, lace them up.